There is no single method of learning that guarantees success. How we learn depends on many different factors, and what works best for you will not necessarily be the same as the approach used for the other students even they study the same course. We are all unique as learners, although some patterns emerge from any groups of students. The current measure has remained virtually unchanged over the past 30 years. Yet during that time, there have been marked changes in the nation's economy and society and in public policies that have affected families' economic well-being, which is not reflected in the measure. Organelles are the biggest difference between bacteria and cells that make up the human body. Organelles. You are eukaryotic. Your cells are eukaryotic. Eukaryotic cells contain membrane-bound organelles, including a nucleus. Eukaryotes can be single-celled or multi-celled, such as you, the plants, fungi, and insects. It has not yet been definitively proven that viewing violence on television will let a child into violent behavior, but even experts agree that it's not good for a child to be exposed constantly. Research has shown that such exposure has at least four effects. Children may become less sensitive to the pain. They may become more fearful. They may be more likely to behave in an aggressive manner. They may get an unrealistic sense of the amount of true violence. This is what needs to happen on climate change. The world needs to put a price on carbon emissions and let the market respond. If politicians pretend this can be done without pain, it will probably result in another 5 to 10 years of pretending to take action. Solar energy is an excellent source of supplying power to homes and companies, and by utilizing solar power you're not merely protecting the environment from becoming polluted, but also you are saving the rest of the Earth's natural resources. Capturing solar energy does not contribute to any pollution and does not harm the atmosphere. One of the factors why many individuals are still hesitant to make use of solar power is because it is expensive. The need for a big location of space is another reason why people aren't taking into consideration solar power. Exercise can reverse damage to sedentary, aging hearts and help prevent the risk of future heart failure if it's enough exercise, and if it's begun in time, according to a new study by cardiologists. In the spirit of comparative immunology, Baker and her colleagues looked at how another mammal, the black flying fox, a type of bat, handles infections. They sequenced its immunity genes and observed the immune response in normal bat cells, and they found that unlike us, the bats always have interferons on patrol. With revenue from college football at an unprecedented $3.04 billion annually, universities across the country invest millions each year in recruitment efforts for high school football players. But with talented players typically receiving multiple scholarship offers, team rosters are in limbo until student athletes commit to a university. The so-called continuing resolution keeps the government funded until 8 February in the hope that Congress can reach a longer-term budget agreement in the meantime. Thousands of federal employees who have been placed on temporary and paid leave since Saturday breathe a sigh of relief. Different types of maternal homework assistance have a different impact on the child's way of completing school assignments in grades 2 to 4 of elementary school, according to a new study. Although all homework assistance presumably aims at helping the child, not all types of homework assistance led to equally positive outcomes. Every culture is riddled with unwritten rules, such as ones on punctuality. They are the invisible scaffold that frames the behavior of individuals so that the collective can function in a frictionless and productive way. But the rigor of these rules and the exactitude with which they are enforced varies dramatically. Some nations tolerate singing in an elevator, swearing during an interview, or entering a bank barefoot, for example, while others frown upon such behaviors. Published on March 27 in Scientific Reports, a new study co-led by a new School of Medicine pathologist reveals that layers of the body long thought to be dense connective tissues, below the skin's surface lining the digestive tract, lungs and urinary systems, and surrounding arteries, veins, and the fascia between muscles, are instead interconnected, fluid-filled compartments. Japan's parliament tightened limits on overtime hours, responding to concerns about karashi, or death by overwork, and seeking to improve productivity in a country where long hours are more accustomed than business necessity. Globalization has affected what we eat in ways we are only beginning to understand. Modern food production no longer relates to our biological needs but is in direct conflict with them. The relationship between diet and our fertility, our risk of cancer, heart disease and mental illness is becoming clearer. Yet much of our food is nutritionally bankrupt.